This is a Sessions video tutorial using the Layers palette.
I'm often asked, how are layers useful in Illustrator since objects you draw can easily be contained in just one layer? Well, layers in Illustrator can help you organize your artwork, particularly if your document contains a lot of objects. When creating the fictitious flake powdered sugar logo seen here, I relied on a number of layers to keep things under control. I could control the visibility of the layers as well as the editability. This allowed me to isolate certain parts of the logo, which made selections easier. As you can see, I've unlocked just the shadow layer and am moving that piece around. I don't have to worry about accidentally selecting one of the other shapes. In this tutorial, we'll take a closer look at the various features of layers and the Layers palette to get you started on your own. First thing, if the Layers palette isn't visible, go to the Window menu and then select Layers. Every new document starts off with one layer titled Layer 1, and this document with the three colorful cubes is no different. On the far left side of a layer is an eye icon. This represents the layer's visibility status. If you click on the eye, the artwork within the layer will be hidden. Clicking this area again will restore the artwork's visibility. Just to the right of the eye icon is the Edit icon space. Clicking here will display a lock icon. While you can still see the artwork on the layer, you can't edit it. When you move a cursor over the artwork in the layer that's been locked, you'll see a pencil cursor with a slash through it. You'll not be able to select or do anything with the artwork when you see this. Continuing to move from left to right in this layer, there's a thin column with a colored bar in it. In this case, the color is blue. Let me unlock the layer and select one of the cubes to show you the purpose of this color. Now that the cube is selected, you can see that the bounding box shares the same color as the bar in the layer. Not only is the bounding box this color, but also the paths and anchor points of the objects in the layer share this as well. Adding new layers, with the Create New Layer icon at the bottom of the palette, shows that each layer has its own color. Layer 2 here is red, and Layer 3 is green. To change the color, double-click the layer and select a new color from the drop-down menu, or create your own by choosing Other at the bottom of the menu. You can see there are other options in this dialog box that allow you to name the layer, lock it, and hide it. These last two commands share the same functionality as the eye icon and the Edit lock icon mentioned earlier. The Template option, when checked, dims the artwork to an opacity level that you determine in the Dim Images to Percentage field here in the lower right. Dimming a layer is useful when tracing an image, as you'll discover in Exercise 3. The Print option, when checked, ensures that the artwork on this layer will print when you print the file. If you uncheck this option and printed the file, the artwork on this layer wouldn't show up. You'll rarely ever have to worry about this option. The last option here is the Preview option. When enabled, it shows you your artwork as you would expect. I'll uncheck and click OK. Now the cubes are shown in what's known as Outline View. That is, you see the edges and the paths that make up a shape, but you don't see any color. And if you look closely, you'll see the eye icon in this particular layer is hollow looking. This represents the Outline View mode. To return the layer to default Preview mode, you can go to the View menu and click on Outline, or you can hold down the Command key and click on the eye icon in the layer. For those using Windows, you'll hold down the Control key instead. As we continue our look at the Layers palette, I want to point out the arrow in the layer that contains the cubes. Clicking it expands the layer to show three groups. Each group represents one of the cubes. You can see these groups also have an arrow next to them. If I click the arrow next to the blue cube, the group expands to show the three shapes that make up the blue cube. This makes selecting an individual object quite easy. And to do this, I'll click on the hollow circle, known as the target icon, just to the right of the layer's label. A piece of the cube is now selected, and the target icon has a ring around it. You can also see a tiny blue square to the right of the ring circle. The blue matches the layer's color bar I mentioned earlier. Anytime you see a square next to a target icon, it means something, but not necessarily everything, on that layer is selected. Now that I have something selected, I can move it to another group or another layer simply by clicking it and dragging it to the group or layer I want to put it in. I'll move this selected shape to another layer. The shape is now on another layer. If I turn off the layer's visibility, you'll see that only the shape I moved disappears from view. I'll close the expanded view of the blue cube and select the remaining pieces by clicking the target icon for the group. Now I'll move this selection to the same layer as the other piece. There's one more feature of a target icon that I want to go into. By clicking on the target icon for the layer, I'm selecting the entire layer and everything on it. With it selected, I can apply an effect to everything on the layer. So here, I'll go to Effect, Stylize, Scribble, and I'll just click OK to apply the default settings. When an effect is applied to a layer, the target icon changes to a shaded circle. If I draw or add any object onto this layer, it will have the scribble effect immediately applied to it. I'll draw a few shapes on this layer to demonstrate. And now I'll target the orange cube from layer 1 and move it to layer 2. Once moved, the orange cube takes on the scribble effect. Returning the orange cube to layer 1 removes the effect. And to remove the effect from the layer entirely, click and drag the target icon to the trash can at the base of the palette. Up to this point, I've not mentioned how to delete a layer. There are a few ways to do this. First, you can select the layer and drag it to the trash can icon at the base of the palette, or you can select the layer and press the delete key on your keyboard. Or, lastly, you can select the layer, open the layer's palette menu, and choose the delete option. Okay, so those are the essentials to using the layers palette. There are, of course, other features available in the options menu that help you manage and manipulate layers, so be sure to check them out.
Did you like this video? Then subscribe today to stay up to date on our channel or follow us on Google+, Twitter, and Facebook. Visit sessions.edu for more info on classes and admissions. Also, don't forget to check out the links to free downloadable content in the description. Thanks for watching.